Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very new season of Life After Undergrad. I am Shanoa Manso, a licensed master social worker, a graduate student, graduate assistant, but most importantly, your host today. I hope all is well, and it has been a bit longer of a time since my last upload. Life has been a whirlwind of many things and multi layers like homework, building connections, working, and living life. So while I haven't been as consistent in the podcast and article realm, I have been pretty consistent on TikTok and Instagram. However, this inconsistency is about to change with two major upcoming projects, one being this one right here, 12 Days of Grace. This November, we are diving into grace and how it is applicable to life this time of year and how we can embody this in aspects of life as everyone deserves some grace. You know, I've realized something lately. Curiosity is one of the first ways grace shows up in our lives. It's the quiet nudge that asks, what if things could be different? Or what if there's more out there for me? It doesn't always come with fireworks or big life changes. Sometimes it's just a question, a whisper, a thought nudging at you. But it's often those little questions that open the door to our biggest transformations. And the thing about curiosity is that it requires us to slow down and listen, not just to the world around us, but to ourselves. When I think back to a moment of change in my life, whether it was switching directions in school, starting something new, taking a leap I wasn't sure I was ready for, they all began with curiosity. That simple human feeling of wondering if there's something more or something I have yet to discover. There was a time I thought curiosity made me inconsistent, in a sense, a master of none. But over time, I learned that curiosity isn't a sign of confusion, it's a sign of aliveness, of life. And that's where grace comes in, because grace gives you room to explore without guilt. You don't have to have the whole plan figured out. You just have to have the courage to ask why or what if. We're often taught to chase clarity, to have a 5-year plan, a career map, a timeline. But the truth is, clarity doesn't always come first. Curiosity does. Curiosity is the soil that clarity grows in. When you allow yourself to explore new interests, talk to new people, or step into unfamiliar spaces, you create room for possibility. Grace gives you the patience to do that without rushing yourself. Think about it. How often do we silence curiosity because we're afraid it'll take us off the right path, quote unquote? Maybe you thought, if I change my major, I'll be behind. If I take a job outside my field, people will think I don't know what I'm doing. If I admit I want something new, maybe I'll lose what I already have. But grace says you're allowed to explore. You're allowed to be interested in new things. You're allowed to change your mind and still be purposeful. Curiosity is not chaos, it's connection. It connects you back to the part of yourself that's still learning what brings you joy, what challenges you, what fulfills you. And sometimes curiosity leads you somewhere unexpected but necessary. Maybe it's towards a new opportunity. Maybe it's towards healing. Or maybe it's simply towards yourself. So today, I want to invite you to practice grace through curiosity. Today, right now, ask yourself, what's been tugging at my attention lately? What am I interested in but afraid to explore? Where in my life am I feeling curious but holding myself back or holding back? Let yourself wonder without immediately needing to decide or write down these answers. Just think about them for a little bit. Because grace isn't found in perfection. It's found in permission. Permission to explore, to question, to be open to what could be next. And remember, curiosity doesn't always give you the full picture, but it will always point you in the right direction, one step at a time. So give yourself grace for not having all the answers yet. You're not lost, you're learning. And that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Honestly, starting off my college journey, I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of things I didn't necessarily know from my high school, my middle school, my elementary school experience prior to coming. So figuring out who I was in this new world that I was developing within, in this new space and environment, I think curiosity was something that kept me engaged within my community. Curiosity helped me find and figure out who I really am within my major, within my community, within the type of worker I am, within the type of creative I am. So I'll leave you with this. Don't let fear dim your curiosity. So, as we wrap up today, I want to thank you so much for staying tuned to the first episode of Life After Undergrad, day 1 of the 12 Days of Grace series. Today, the episode 1 is called Grace and Curiosity. We have come such a long way so far from beginning the Life After Undergrad podcast, the beginning of 2025. And I cannot wait to continue to be a resource for you all and grow. If you're interested in staying updated with the most recent uploads, feel free to drop a follow to this podcast, Life After Undergrad, on Spotify, or you can follow us on YouTube at TVSWCT. Also, utilizing that tag at TVSWCT, you can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn and Twitch. Until the next day of 12 Days of Grace.